One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay feeling. One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay feeling. It's BV, it's BV, BV, it's BV,
yeah.
It's BV, it's BV, it's BV, it's BV.
It's BV and Jellified, Jimmy Bean and Bly. Reaching high as where we reach, yo, as high as to the stars. Beats in the villain Jeep, vibrating other cars. Whose world is this? Yo, we say the world is ours. So we grow beards, no fear. Photos so clear, take another shot, so to speak. Yeah, more beer. BV worldwide, put a fist to the sky. Cheers, cheers, New Year's, dope rhyme, good vibes. My crew speaks power, Chi-Town bleeds power. Knowledge, wisdom, and truth in the final hour. Respect, loyalty, family, charity speaks power. Here the village brotherhood speaks honor. Forwards and onwards, stay villain to the end. I will never shave again because my beard is not a trend. I represent excellence, leadership, and never follow. I'm a BBC member, yo, lieutenant of Chicago.
One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay villain. One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay villain. It's BV, 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 it's BV. Yo, all I see.
Hello, everybody, and happy Friday night. It is, wow, what date is today? It's the 4th. It's the 4th all day. Oh, guys, happy Friday night, and welcome to the Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the bearded villains worldwide brotherhood and the lives they are changing all over this world of ours. Again, it is the 4th. This is the first podcast episode and live stream of June 2021. This is episode 86. 86 episodes in, guys. We are flying along. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of really cool stuff going on in the world of BV. We're going to talk about some of that a little bit later tonight here. But welcome one and all. It's good to see some faces here in the live stream that are chit-chatting away. Some faces that we see every week. We know they're here like clockwork. Other people coming in for the first time. I love seeing it. Loyal viewers of the show and listeners of the show sometimes don't get a chance to be here live. So, man, we really appreciate you guys. When I say we, not just me. Of course I do. But everybody else that's here live with us really appreciates you being here. So happy Friday night. This is going to be a fun night because I'm doing something. As I say this, I realize how many times I've said this before in different capacities. But I am doing something a little different tonight because instead of a typical interview guest type of situation, this week I'm bringing in a brother. That's your clue right now. Just a brother. I'm bringing in a brother. He's going to join us here in just a few minutes. That's going to be acting in kind of a co-host role tonight. And he's going to be coming in live to hang out. And we're just going to be talking back and forth. And I'll be, sharing some comments that are coming in from you guys here on the live stream. We're going to have a really good conversation. We're going to talk about some merch stuff. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of just odds and ends, and hopefully having a really good, really clear, just a heartfelt conversation about stuff, about BV stuff, things that affect our lives. And that's the hope, is that we can have a real conversation. And when I do this, and I'm going to be doing this in the future as well, maybe once a month, I'm not sure. We'll toss it around and see how it goes. But we'll continue to do this every so often. I'll bring in somebody who's just a kind of a guest co-host, and it'll be like they were here in the studio with me, and we're just talking. And hopefully, as we proceed through this year, I'll be able to actually bring some people in live in the studio, not to just act as interview guests, but to act as co-host as well, because I think it's cool to hear from other people. Not just old BP. I've got my ideas, and you guys are probably 86 episodes in now, tired of hearing about some of my perspectives on life and a variety of different topics. So, but let's get into it. First, I want to say hello, happy day to all of the fine folks that are here live that I can see. I know there's people watching that I can't see. So for those of you who are here, I do appreciate you. Rob is here, of course, saying his traditional good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Jay is hanging out with us as well. I love the conversations that these guys have. Everybody has, but the side conversations, even before I come in and get this live stream going, it's so great to see. So great to see it. So, of course, Nick is here. How you doing, Nick? Bear is joining us tonight. How you doing, Bear? Good to see you here. Mars is here from Lakeshore. We know what he's all about. Cody's here. Cody's a first-time viewer of the live stream, hanging out with us tonight. This is so cool to see. Most of you may know him as Savvy. We laugh because he talks sometimes about the fact that a lot of people don't know him as Cody. Everybody knows him as Savvy. So he's hanging out with us tonight too. He actually changed his screen name to say, hey, how you doing? But that's great to see. Rob is here hanging out with us. Mr. Ferris. Love seeing that as well. Dalton is hanging out with us. Yes, I'm going to be down at Knox Villains next weekend. Looking forward to that. Going to be a great time. Checking out. Sharissa's here. How did we not know what Sharissa's going to be? We knew Sharissa's going to be here. We're hanging out because, well, Jay's here. Wayne's here hanging out with us. How are you doing, Mr. One Feather? Francis hanging out as well. And, of course, Mr. Ramsey's here. First-time listener, he says. I do not believe that for a second. I know better than that. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. One thing I want to say hi to and address real quick before we bring in our co-host for the evening is it's National Donut Day. It's National Donut Day, guys. How many people out there took advantage of some donut places out there were giving away free donuts? How could you pass that up? Free donuts. I mean, maybe just one, but still, National Donut Day. So, in preparation for this National Donut Day, I decided to throw out a little feeler. Now, you all in the BV community sometimes come through for me, and sometimes you just kind of glance over these questions that I send out into the world to ask about your opinions on different things. And as typical the case, I only had a handful of people. I had, over, I don't know, several hundred people see this question that comes across their stories on Instagram. And I asked simply, I threw up a picture of all sorts of different donuts, but then I just asked a simple question. What's your favorite donut? And it's amazing how many people are afraid to even say. They just don't want to take the time. I don't know. But it is pretty cool, though, to see the variety of answers that I did get. Now, I'll get into what my favorite donut is in just a minute, if you even care. But I think it's pretty cool because of the people that did respond, I don't think there was a single one of them that was duplicate of another. Maybe close, but not duplicate. But it's kind of cool to see the variety. And some of y'all out there like some pretty crazy donuts. I'll say that. So I posed the question, what's your favorite donut? I got some answers like the one with frosting inside. That can mean anything. Somebody said original dip. I'm not sure what original dip means. Unless it's just a standard glazed donut that you dip in coffee, maybe. Not sure. We had answers from jelly, and that wasn't from jelly. Crullers. Somebody said all donuts. All donuts. Apple fritter, Boston cream, bear claw, custard filled number 1. Somebody said number 2, chocolate glazed. Number 3, hot glazed. Well, those things are good when they just come out of the oven. And then somebody else said blueberry cake. Now, my favorite for the longest time, since I've been a kid, was, they're actually kind of hard to find now, believe it or not, is the typical donut that is just a glazed cake donut. Not old-fashioned, because that has a little bit of a flavor to it. But the typical standard with the icing on it, the glazed cake, no flavoring, just what the donut is. That's always been my favorite, and they're harder and harder to find nowadays. I do love the blueberry cake too, and I do like the apple fritter a time or two. Never been much with the ones that have the stuff inside of them. But so that's me. We got some people chiming in here live, talking about what some of their favorites are as well. Wayne says, cream-filled. Cream-filled, of course. Nick chiming in, maple Long John. Not just a standard Long John. Maple Long John. Those are always good. Now, I'm not sure that I'd be surprised that this is Bear's answer. Anybody that knows Bear, it makes sense. Bear Claw makes sense. Just makes sense. I don't know. Jay says, Mars, free donut at Tummy's today, and Krispy Kreme. I think we were celebrating it too. Awesome. Awesome. And Dalton coming in hard here. Maple bacon glazed donut. I don't think I've ever had a maple bacon glazed donut. That sounds freaking amazing. That would be awesome. Donuts are Savvy's favorite food, he says. I love this, guys. Gator, how you doing? Thanks for joining us, buddy. So, so it's National Donut Day. If there's still time, get out to your Dunkin' Donuts or whatever is close to you. See if they're still open. Maybe you can grab a donut. But if you're like me, being a former cop, I like all donuts 24/7. That's just me. Okay, guys. Are we ready for... I agree, Mr. Ramsey. I agree. That is like a drug. Absolutely. Can't beat original glaze from Krispy Kreme. You really can't, especially when they're hot. Just can't do it. Okay. Are we ready to bring in our special co-host for tonight? Some of you might have a clue. I don't know if anybody's been guessing in their own little world. Nobody's made any comments or guesses who it might be. But if you pay attention at all, maybe to the thumbnail I included for this episode, you might have a clue as to who our special co-host for the evening is. As I bring him in, I'm going to play. I have a little piece of music for an intro for him to bring our man in, and we're going to bring him in here. This man has all hearts. This man is incredible. I'm just excited to bring him in. And he's going to be joining us here in just a second. Of course, who am I talking about? Any guesses? No guesses. All right, so here I am. I'm bringing him in. Everybody say hi to Puzzle. It's Puzzle. Mr. Hector.
What's going on, man?
How you doing, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Thanks so much for coming in and hanging. Look at him. Boy, we didn't even time this out. We didn't even talk this through. He is
Come
ready.
on now.
Come on.
I had to do it.
Oh, man, after
I
my
can
own
read your
heart
mind,
in
man.
so many different ways, man. Look at that. Oh, you
Yes,
knew it
sir.
was
Yes,
coming.
sir.
You knew it was coming. Oh, Hector, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm awesome, dude. I'm doing great.
Ah, man, this is, please, anybody that does not know this dude, get out there and meet him on IG one-on-one, but I can't imagine at this point there's anybody that's been around BV for any amount of time at all that does not know you.
I'm nobody, bro.
No, it's not a matter of that. It's not a matter of that. It's just you're so approachable, and it's you know how I feel. We have had some really great conversations, and it was from the second we met.
Right.
And
Right.
Those are the kind of relationships that we absolutely cherish within this community. So,
Right.
I'm happy that you're able to find some time and hang out with me tonight, being a co-host, because we got some stuff to talk about.
Yes, sir.
So,
I mean, it's funny. Like me, for example, like I have social anxiety,
yeah,
believe it or not. And the way that I fight it is by being social. That doesn't make any sense for anybody but just me. But I'm puzzled, so that's how I work it.
well, I think that's what's really deceiving about you, because
Mhm.
you wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Just to talk to you, even the first time, and it's a lot of people that struggle with social anxiety. They shy away from crowds. They shy away
Right.
from interactions with people they don't know. It's all
Right.
safe space. And you have found a way to make that a huge positive in your life.
Right. I go straight on. I go full balls out, Here I am.
It's awesome. It's awesome, man. As I was kind of going through some things this week, that I was following a bunch of people around at DSV with my camera out, kind of trying to get some B-roll for this documentary I'm working on. And there's something I haven't even shared it with you yet, but one day I'll show you the little clip that I got. And I don't know if you remember that I was there filming or not, because after this thing happened, you looked up at me and were kind of like, "Hey, how about that?" But there was a special moment that I was able to capture between you and another brother when you received a patch, and it's this incredible moment of surprise.
Oh.
Yeah, those are so cool, and it's this incredible moment of surprise on your face. But the conversation, I can't hear the conversation, but that's what's so great about it. It's just, you see two brothers, and it's just such a genuine interaction.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing of BV, like when you're able to share a part of you with somebody else, that just makes the trip, just worthwhile.
And I talked about it.
Oh, yeah.
I talked about it last week, but there were so many of those at this meet,
Yeah.
because we've been locked away for so long.
That's right.
What now that I have you here, do you have any special specific memories that you can think of that just are like right on the top of your head that you just remember from the interactions that you had over the course of the DSV5 weekend?
Well, you mentioned two of them last week, which was the one at the beach and the one with Mark. There was a little situation at the hotel. One of the brothers, I'm not gonna, say his name, but just didn't know how to deal with all the people and anxiety as well. So, I told him he made it all the way there. Why was he going to stay at the hotel? Just come hang with us. I mean, if he wanted, you just, I had my chain in my wallet. So I grabbed the keychain out and put it on his pant loop. And I was like, hey man, I'll be your support animal and you can just count on me for support. I got you. That was pretty memorable right there. And just, just seeing all these people that I haven't seen in forever, and also seeing guys that I talk to all the time that I just hadn't had a chance to meet them because of all this COVID stuff. Seeing my chapter brothers, my capo and his family, the guys from Austin, Cody, Savvy, however you want to call him, Frankie, Steven from Chicago, Morgan, Christian and the boys, all these guys, Alabama was there, like Georgia. I mean, all these Tank, I hadn't seen Tank in forever. Oh God, I mean, I could name 100 people. Papa, of course, we're always together. Seeing you, your co-captain, bro. Oh my God, we had a conversation that was just delightful, just stuff like that. And to me, like, the beer comp is fun, and all this stuff that we plan is fun. But for me, it's a one-to-one. That's what I take away, and I just hold that dearly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you said, it's the one-to-one interactions. It's the unplanned. Yeah. It's those unplanned moments that are the things that you remember.
I saw Brad, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but it just popped in my head. I hadn't seen Brad since Smoky Mountain's 2 year. And Brad and I are like brothers from another mother. And when we saw each other, it was like one of those moments, like, the slow music played, and we did the Dirty Dancing scene when I picked them up, and all that. I mean, it was one of those things. That's my homie.
Oh, one of those moments.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, man.
Sometimes we wish we had like doves just in our back pocket that we could just break out every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's
I need a like a sound machine or something for these moments, and just press a button and here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, it's funny. That's one of those weird things that I'm hoping to try and capture throughout these different events. And it's just, just me speaking to you about to that is, it's one of those things that I love, as you do. I love that those unplanned interactions, those like we just talked about. That's what makes it. And I still remember when I first met you at an event where there was hundreds of people there was a beard competition going on and everything.
Yeah.
I don't remember hardly anything of the beard competition. I don't remember hardly anything about much of that night. But the one thing that does stick out to my memory to this day is being able to meet you and sit down with you and just have that conversation.
Thank you, man.
From that weekend, I mean, that's one of those things that will stick with me. And it was refreshing to see other people get that at DSV5 for the first time. Because as I said, I noticed that the time frame with DSV was such that by the time things had locked down last year, you had guys that were like, okay, this spring I'm going to get to my first big meet. And then the lockdown hit, and they'd already been in for 6-9 months. So some of these guys that had been in 2 years, darn near, this was their first big event. And
that's correct.
Oh man, just to see those interactions. And one of the, I don't know about you, but one of the downsides, and I, you hear guys talk about this occasionally, is that they don't want to spend time taking pictures. They don't want to spend time doing all that stuff.
I put my phone in my pocket and that's it.
Yeah. But because they say, I don't want to miss all that stuff,
That's right.
I don't want to spend time looking for the shot or record, that kind of thing. But I noticed it for the first time at DSV because I was so hard. I mean, I was so focused on trying to capture those moments from the other side where I was trying to capture other people's moments. And I caught a few. They're so hard to catch because you gotta kind of look over and you're like, okay, I don't think they've seen each other yet. Okay, I'm gonna try and get in position, and then something happens and you can't. You almost have to kind of be predictive about it. But it's that was the first one where, aside from a few conversations that I had had some time to sit down with you, and I had some time to sit down with a few others, but I missed out on that a little bit, and I've kind of resigned myself to say that that's probably going to happen this year just because of what I'm trying to do. So I hope that other people, when you see me, because you know that I like to talk, aren't it's not coming across as, I'm trying to, I don't have time for people.
You're being bougie.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I didn't even think about it until about halfway through that night at DSV. I was like, for people that don't know me, they might be thinking, oh, BP's just saying hi to people and walking away. He doesn't talk to people. And it didn't even hit me until later in the night that I was like, oh crap, some of these people might, So I'm gonna have to float that fine line.
Well, I mean, most of us get it. There's stuff going on, and they see you with the equipment. We get it. So don't feel bad about it. But talking about it now just makes it easier for the rest of the guys that haven't met you yet to kind of get the idea that we're looking for a film crew for you, and a makeup person and audio guy. So you can go ahead and just be you and have them do the work, and you just have a good time.
That would be so fun. That would be so fun to just roll up on a big event, just to roll up on Knox Villains, and I've got like 4 people behind me, 1 camera crew and an audio guy with a boom arm and everything, and I could just walk around and enjoy it, and then direct them.
I mean, we could only dream, right?
Oh,
hey, we can dream. It might come true. Who knows? Yeah.
One day.
That's right.
So what's on your mind, man? What's driving Hector these days?
Oh God, what's on my mind? A lot of things. But at the forefront right now, there's 2 things. I have a serious topic, and I have like just a regular, BV merch topic that I want to touch on also. So whichever direction you want me to go first, I'll go that direction.
You go wherever your heart's leading you, Muddy. Let's go that way.
All right, so let's start with the serious one, since I don't want people to fall asleep and whatnot. So at DSV, I was talking to a brother, and he just approached me and said, I also don't want to throw names out there, but he's like, hey man, one of the brothers is having a hard time, so if you don't see him too much or interact too much, it's because he's going through this. What he's going through is his son is being bullied at school. It's really serious. I don't also want to get into details of what's going on, but the kid is being bullied for being a kid, to the point to where the kid doesn't want to wake up in the morning, if you catch what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
The school board just said, you know what? There's nothing we can do. You're just going to have to deal with it.
What?
So the kid is going through counseling. We've been, supporting the group. I gave him my personal number, and a bunch of the guys did as well. I text him every so often. They text him, make sure that he's okay. He's doing a lot better. But as I'm having this conversation with another brother from Mississippi, Little Bear, another one of the brothers steps up and says, hey, my kid goes to the same school and is going through the same thing. Now we have 3 chapter brothers going through the same situation in the same school. And the school board just said, you know what? Deal with it, tough.
I don't understand that.
To me, it just doesn't make sense how you cannot be just yourself. I mean, it's not that the kid has any, because we grew up in a tough era. We were made fun of even by the color clothes we wore,
Right.
Or beat up by it,
Yeah.
The kid is just being a kid. He's a smart kid, keeps to himself, respective, churchgoer, and they're beating on him just cause. And the school is kind of making it seem like it's his fault in a way, Yeah, we got rattled up, and we're trying to get some programs going. I told him I want to even reach out the news. I don't care, man. It's just,
Well, yeah,
it's too close to home, and he has to stop. It's 2021. Come on, guys.
incredible.
We still gonna, continue with this crap? I mean, once again, the kid doesn't bother anybody. I mean, I get it if the kid is being, something else like pestering people or whatever, you kind of have that little conversation as, teenagers. But the kid doesn't even interact with the other kids because he's afraid. And he doesn't want to go to school.
It's amazing that in this day we're still fighting this. I mean, to the extent that it's this bad. I've long said that, and I've done, cyberbullying talks to kids before. I've done, bullying talks, back when I was in law enforcement to people, but, and I kind of came to the realization that you're never going to be able to weed out 100% of it because kids are kids, and kids are not always going to be nice to each other. But
of course,
comments are one thing, but when it hits that fine line, and I think there's a very fine line between an occasional jab or an occasional comment into straight up bullying. And that's amazing to me that that's still going on, and that a school system is basically raising their hands and saying there's nothing that we can do about it.
No suspension, nothing. Just a regular day. Go on, shoo, we're busy. Like that kind of deal. Like, come on, man.
Do we know if it's just, is it like an epidemic problem that's happening within the school, or is it focused around like one specific kid or group of kids that's causing it?
It's a group of kids causing it to whoever they want, basically.
Okay.
So if you're not a part of this group, then you're getting bullied, period.
Right.
And once again, the fact that the school is not even suspending the kids or having a talk, or the parents are out of pocket paying for a therapist and, just all these therapies for the kid because nobody wants to do anything about it. And I can't let that go. It's one of those autism brain. Once something sticks in my head, I can't let it go. And that's one of the things I can't let it go. I can't see that and just be okay with it. Toughen up. No, man, it's not. It doesn't work that way.
No.
Not everybody's built the same. This is going to sound a little funny, but back in our day, we kind of had to deal with it because there wasn't anything around. There wasn't anybody to help us or guide us or anything. And I want to say 50% of us ended up in, bad situations because we never had guidance.
Sure.
Now imagine if we had these services back then. It would have been a lot more people, with different ways of life and better themselves. We have those tools now. I mean, granted, one of the guys in the chapter does, work for these. He works for like a special needs program, and one of the things that they do is they have talks with kids in school about anything, and bullying is one of them.
Right.
And they won't even allow that group to go into school and touch on these subjects. And that's what gets to me. Like every time that the parents try to get some kind of something going that way, the board says no.
So wait a minute.
I just find that ridiculous.
So this isn't even just this is like an overt, this isn't like the school people not believing that there's a problem.
They know.
This is the school people, the people in charge of the school, the administrators, literally holding the blanket over their head and pretending it goes away. And they figure if we have to address it, it's going to
make us look bad.
No,
that's what they would say.
We dealt with that. Oh my gosh, God, that brings back terrible memories. We dealt with that here locally where I'm at for years. And I had been on, it was actually about the time, I had been on maybe about 5 years at the time. And we started hearing about incidents of everything from bullying to straight up fist fights, everything you could possibly imagine. And it focused around a group of friends, the people that were causing the problem, And they were athletes, but they didn't want to. They were afraid that by shedding light to it, by if we mention it, if we acknowledge its existence, then what it basically came down to was the school board president, the superintendent person, was concerned about her appearance. Program. Yeah, her appearance of it wasn't even like it was a state championship caliber or anything, but it was a group of students, and she was more concerned about her image as a superintendent. That if it got out that her school had this problem, rather than let's be proactive and say, you know what, in my leadership position, I'm going to say, wow, we have this problem. Let's address it and fix it. Mm-hmm. And then you can worry about your ego, your reputation, or whatever. But first and foremost, they have to be looking out for the kids.
I think that as we look at it, I'd rather be looked at, that school has a program directed towards bullying or whatever the case is that's needed, other than kids are committing suicide in school because the school board is not doing something. Like, which one would you rather have? I don't know. It just makes no sense to me that they're not willing to do anything about it. Just, well, they're kids, and kids will be kids, and you can deal with it on your own, and this is a number you can call, and like, come on. Yeah. Really?
They've had I've heard of I only once or twice have I heard a situation like you're talking about, where they just blanketly don't want to even address it and just pretend that it's not there for the bullying aspect. But I know some school systems don't want to have a professional come in and give that whole stranger danger talk, or whatever you call it, where you're from. I actually had a school official once tell me, because I was getting trained in one of the versions of what they call stranger danger some places. And at the end, they basically tell at these programs that if something has happened to you, you can come up and talk to us afterwards, or write your teacher a note and whatever else, and slip it, that kind of thing. But because that was a part of it, they always said, we don't want that because we don't want false accusations. And they don't realize that that's not really how it works. But the aspect of the bullying, I thought we were at a point where school systems now in 2021 were like, hey, that's one of those things we just don't tolerate, because I hate to say it, but statistics have shown, it's out there, that a lot of these I hate to say it, but a lot of these school shootings and things like that, they began from the kids feeling bullied.
Right.
That's where the first thoughts of these kind of things happen.
And what gets me the most on this case is that the kid himself admitted that he was bullying the kid. Wow. When they asked him why, he says, just because I can't.
Did nothing.
Right. That's what just started to boil my blood, and then to have the parents sitting there with you, telling you the story and sobbing, uncontrollably, like crying their hearts out. Granted, DSV's going on and everybody's having fun and drinking beer, These two are here in the corner with me, and the kids there as well.
Oh, geez.
And the kids, like, I don't want them to hurt. I don't want them to feel the pain that I feel, or feel any pain because of me. That's more on that kid's shoulder,
Right.
And how do you let that slide? It's unbelievable.
I know we're running up on the end of the school year, obviously, and a lot of schools are actually out of school right now, or in the next week.
Right.
Is there a platform, and maybe they've tried this, where there's a public forum school board meeting thing that they can confront them at, and possibly
that's what we're working on right now. Yeah, we're working on getting something or figuring out when that's going to happen, so they can jump in and talk about it. Now, here's the kicker. One of the brothers is certified and trained in these talks. He does therapy for kids that need this, and he's offered himself for free to do this, and they said no.
Yeah.
We don't want to be liable for whatever happens.
As if they would be
Can
liable
you
for
believe that?
anything. As if they would be there's nothing to be liable for.
Exactly.
That is such an ancient mindset that you
Yes.
have to. Whoever's, if I were down there right now, I would be helping you organize that, because it's absolutely ludicrous for anybody in school administration, and I say that from teachers on down, anybody that's an adult, really, that deals with kids, that has that mindset. It's so old, and we've seen proof that that is the worst thing that you can possibly do, to ignore something like this. Wow. And the thing is that I think what needs to happen is it needs to go public in a big way.
That's what I'm thinking.
Where they have no recourse other than to try and address it.
There's no choice. Yeah.
If it's out there and somebody brings it out into the ether, somebody's going to have to answer to it. Whether they're going to say, we choose, this is a private matter. Okay, well, guess what? The news crew now knows about it, and they're going to follow up. You know, or at least they're going to follow up with the family if the school won't listen to them. You know, those kind of things. There's so many different ways. If the school board if the school system or whoever it is concerned about some sort of liability thing, there's such easy ways to fix that, and to cover their bases, to make them, and it's not going to do anything legally, but it's just going to make them feel a little bit better touchy-feely wise, so that they're like, our heart's going to feel a little bit better that we tried, to cover our butts. I know there's some school systems that you have to, day one, you're given a code of conduct, and you have to sign it, even in elementary school. If you can't, a lot of times they'll send it home, and then your parent has to sign it with you. And then it has to come back to the student. They even do that with iPads now and stuff. So if they're concerned about that, that's all you need to do, to say, you're violated our code of conduct. Here's the result. It's not hard.
Yep.
That angers me to no end.
Trust me.
I can only imagine. Yeah. Wow.
Because if you meet the kid, it's just like, it's heartbreaking. The kid is just the sweetest kid in the world. And it doesn't even matter. He doesn't have to be, the sweetest kid in the world. It just shouldn't happen. Period.
No.
It shouldn't happen. Or it's going to happen. But when it happens, address it. Don't just sweep it under the rug.
You can't.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, we're trying to organize something once again, and we have a little chat online that we're just organizing ideas and seeing where we can go with it. Especially now that the school year's ended and the kid can have a break and have a summer, and they just took them to Florida, which is awesome. Had a great weekend at the beach. They've been doing stuff for the kid to keep them motivated and whatnot. That gives us time to go ahead and organize something, and by the beginning of the school year, we want to have something planned and something, a direction, and work on it, because once again, there's a lot of people going through it. And the funny thing is, as we were speaking about it, more people were chiming in on situations that they had encountered in the same place, and the school just said, screw it. We don't want to deal with it.
What I would recommend, and I wish I was down there, because I'd go with you. One of the things that you need to do, in my opinion anyway, and I'm sure you probably thought of this, is you need to figure out who all the people are that have been locally affected, the parents of anyway, all at once. And this isn't one of those things where it's like, okay, we're going to wait to see how the school year starts. No, once that first school board meeting happens, you pack the public space with these parents. So that way, if somebody, the first person, and you need to find somebody that can speak eloquently without emotion. That's the key. Emotionally, but not to the point where they're going to get angry. at a person.
Yeah.
At a topic, yes. But somebody has to be level-headed enough to be able to explain everything, you know?
Exactly.
So, but if you address it and you have that one person and then they say, well, we've never heard of this. You have to think ahead. What are they going to say? We've never heard of this problem before. Okay. I'm sorry, but anybody in this room, has anybody in this room addressed the school about this problem before? Go. And then when 15 people raise their hand, that's not going to look good.
Right.
If you have a connection at a news station or whatever else you're gonna alert, make sure that they don't alert the board of what they're coming for. You know, it could be, we just want to, you know, hear if there's any plans about, they'll make up their own excuse, you know, a COVID,
of course.
If there's any kind of new COVID regulations we want to cover or something like that, but somebody needs to be there to do that. And then it'll start, but you have to put them on their heels. And, you know, there have been times, I will say, when this came to light here locally, that superintendent lasted less than a year, found a new job in another state. Hopefully it wasn't yours. I don't think it was. That would have been terrible.
No, it's in Mississippi, actually.
So, you know, it's, that's terrible.
Yeah.
But, you know, if nothing else, you know, to have bearded villains there to stand up and support, and the brotherhood to be there to support these kids, and you know, yourself and other people that are that are angered by it, that want to see change, you're going to see a push, and that's what we need.
Of course. That's the idea.
Incredible, man. That's heartbreaking. Truly.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you.
I think I like mine better than yours. I like your cup, though.
Well, you don't know what's in it, though.
Oh, this is true. I don't know. What you drinking?
A little something in ginger ale.
Okay. That's nice. Good to see it. All right. Wow. Well, keep us posted. I mean, obviously you don't want to go into details, but
yeah, we'll do.
And if there's anything, I'm sure you guys have other people that you can turn to for advice and everything. But if you ever need another voice, especially from somebody who's, you know, had a little bit of experience in this matter, trying to fight it, by all means, reach out to me and I'll.
Oh, I got your number, bro. I'll be calling you at some point.
Yeah. And if it's something where I think that, where anybody thinks it's, you know, it's possible for me to just come down and even be, I don't know what good they probably wouldn't listen to somebody from an outside source, but
nah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, just to be there, or just to help out and add another voice. So,
of course,
that's tough, buddy. That's tough. But
yeah,
you were definitely the person to reach out to and have that conversation with. So I'm glad you were there for him.
I hope so. Yeah.
That's incredible. Well,
so how's the weather in Indiana?
It is beautiful outside. Yeah. I actually, when we get done here, it looks just like you. Yeah, we got to set that timeout.
Yeah.
We have to do. Let's see. I don't think I have any. Any sound effects that we can separate things with, but yeah. Actually, when I get done with the podcast tonight, I got to go out and feed the garden, water the garden with the good plant food stuff. So, it's going to be nice enough out there, hopefully, still, so I can do that. But well, what else? What else you got, man? I know your mind's a flurry of stuff.
So, well, yeah, it's a bunch of stuff, but just the two things that I wanted to touch on tonight. So about 6 years ago, I had this idea when I was. So I met. My first BV encounter was in 2014. I met a couple of brothers and I just thought it was awesome. And through the years, I kind of like, just saw that BV was growing more, it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And at that time I was like on the board for Autism Speaks and, dealing with autism. And I just, it would seem to be that it was like enclosed in every town. It was just like, their little board and their little board, and like nobody got together. And I wanted to do these walks, and I wanted to do these events, and I wanted to help out, communities, and like I'm thinking huge. So I reach out to some of the guys, and they said, bro, whatever you need. So in different states, I collaborated, with patches, or I traveled and did walks, and however I could. And as I'm sitting down one day, I'm thinking like, this would be an idea, because I started to get into the patch game. This would be really cool if we can get all these chapters that are doing, autism related stuff to come together and do something for autism. It'd be awesome. So I wasn't in the chapter then. I was, just by myself. And then I found out that the place that I was living in had a chapter. So I reached out to them, and I got them, became a member with them. And I kept sending emails to Fred. Actually, not emails. I kept on sending him IG messages. And he didn't respond. And I'm like, well, this guy doesn't like my idea, I guess. I mean, maybe I'm crazy. So I tell Brad, the captain of North Mississippi, I'm sorry. And he's like, hey, man, that's a great idea. Let's just go ahead and send him an email. Right. And I'm like, there's an email? And he's like, yeah. we dropped it in one of the chats that I'm in, that it deals with, parents with kids in the spectrum. And the North Texas guys got on board, and they were like, hey, man, that's a great idea. Let's go ahead and do something. So as we were discussing the idea and how to word it and, send it to him, Brad had already brainstormed it and sent the email out. So 2 days later, Fred answers back, and he's like, hey, man, I'm all for it. If you guys want to go ahead and do something like that, that'd be awesome. I think it's a phenomenal idea. Getting all the chapters together, brothers together for a good cause, it's awesome. So this has been in the works personally for 6 years, but in the brotherhood itself, like out there, it's going on 2. Mm-hmm. And finally, this month, we were able to get the first 2 patches out. Shameless plug, Smoky Mountains, North Texas, please, please, please. It's for a great cause. Everybody has their individual, because once again, one of the things that we wanted was not to go to like these big corporations that take all the money and just give this, and some of them give 8% of what they make yearly for autism, which just bothers the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. We do it locally. These guys are advocates. They do therapies. They do school placing. They do medical research, all that stuff. It's all, donated towards that. And the fact that, Texas and that I'm close to, and also my chapter, are the ones out there now, it's just humbling and just a great honor to have these, come together. And it's going to be a huge project. There's 36 of us all together. So every month we're going to go ahead and release 2 patches for the next couple of chapters. And it's just going to be a huge, beautiful thing when it comes out completely. I'm so stoked about it. I'm super, I get emotional talking about it as well. So bear with me. It's just one of the things that I wanted to do when I started this. I just wanted us to come together and do something. And not just for autism, but just the brotherhood itself. We've been cooped up in our houses, and this just kind of brings us together, in a way that I can't put into words, And once again, to have 36 pieces, and I mean, it could have been more, just time just didn't allow it, but it's just crazy, man. I can't even put it into words.
Yeah. I can't, I mean, I've had some pretty crazy, far-reaching goals, be it chapter-wide or with the podcast, the documentary thing, but so I know where you're coming from, and I know, I can only imagine how humbled but proud at the same time you are for this effort that you spearheaded. And it's unfortunately, I mean, it's the time. I mean, its time has definitely come. Should have been a while ago, but for a variety of reasons. Because I know I've been kind of on the sides, waiting for something. For anybody that doesn't know, this effort he's talking about is a series of 36 patches that will fit together. This is one of a kind, never been done before. I don't know of any place that this has been done before.
Right.
There are 36 puzzle pieces representing 35 different chapters plus the main Bearded Villains page. And each puzzle piece represents a separate chapter, and each puzzle piece, the monies that are raised from that puzzle piece will go directly towards autism awareness initiatives in that local jurisdiction for that puzzle piece. 36 around the country.
It's crazy.
30.
It's crazy, bro. I got goosebumps.
Think crazy, for a second. I want everybody who's listening to this, either live right now or later on a podcast platform, think for a second. Each time one of these chapters comes out with one patch for a variety of different initiatives that they come out with. And some chapters will release 1 or 2 patches a year. And the monies that they raise, you hear about it and you're like, oh, cool, you've raised a few $1,000s. That's awesome from a patch sale. But put that into perspective because of this effort.
It's huge.
36 different organizations focusing on one specific topic, autism awareness. They're going to be receiving in each one of these 36 jurisdictions and locations, they're going to be receiving monies from their local patch sales to use however they see fit for autism awareness in their area. And I mean to tell you that I've seen the list of organizations that are represented from all these different patches. And it's not this huge number of large companies, large organizations. Many of them are very small. Right. And so the local benefit that there's going to be out there from this, it's immeasurable, man. You don't like to take praise a lot, I know, but words can't, I don't have the words to say thank you for spearheading this effort, because such an this has taken, at least that I know of, 3, maybe 4 variations just in the last 2 years that never came to fruition because a handful of chapters were in on it at first and then jumped out and then weren't sure if they wanted to be a part of it. And so as Hector said, there was the desire to have as many chapters available as could, but because it came time where you have to kind of say, okay, you have to, get off the pot at some point, and you have what you have. These 36, 35 chapters have been very forthright in getting the information, getting everything done, and here we are. And so this patch that it creates with 36 different puzzle pieces, it's incredible to look at. And one day everybody's going to be able to see it. 18 months of work for sales. Now, I did make a slide up. I showed it while Hector was talking there. And I would assume everybody's seen this by now, but just in case you haven't, the North Texas patch and the Smoky Mountain patch are the first 2 being released. Now, just a quick reminder, the way this is working is these are pre-sale for these 2 patches. These are not purchase them and get them right away. These are going to be pre-sale to help us determine everything else down the road. So if you want to get 2 full puzzles of this when it's all said and done after 18 months, get 2 of each.
That's what I'm doing.
Remember that the North Texas patch is going toward one specific cause in North Texas. The Smoky Mountain patch is going to their cause. East
Tennessee Autism Society.
Yes, East Tennessee Autism Society, who is actually the beneficiary of next weekend's event.
Right.
So the people that have organized this, primarily with Hector in there, every single one of these patches is going to be $9, $3.50 shipping. Every single one. It doesn't matter where they come from. These are U.S. orders or stateside orders, right? For those prices, $9, $3.50 shipping, each one, no questions. So for 18 months, you'll have to jump on these. Just a word of caution to everybody that after this month, when the next 2 patches go on sale, you'll want to get them quick.
Right.
Because these first 2 patches won't sell out, technically. Eventually they might. Well, you won't see them around. But after this month, every month, 2 more patches will be released, and you'll need to get in on them very quickly because those will not be pre-sale. So don't miss out if you want to collect a full puzzle or 2 or 3. For sure. It's such an incredible, such an amazing thing.
I want to take the time out to also thank my captain and my co-captain for putting up with my shit. Because you know how passionate I am with this, and they're like, you know what, dude? They got to a point where like, you know what, just do it, man, because you're driving us crazy. But they I can't express enough how grateful I am for them for not only supporting me in this cause, but they're always willing to listen and always willing to say, you know what, man, you have a point or you don't. And I appreciate their honesty so much. My captain, David, I don't know if you're listening, if you're here, I love you, man. You've done there's so much that David's done for me. I can't even, that would be another hour.
Yeah.
And Brian, always there to listen, always there to hear me out. And I can vent with this guy. And so both David and him, I can express nothing but, respect and how much I love these 2 fuckers because they turned my life around. Yeah. But the fact that they were able to say, you know what, go ahead and go with it, that just, it just fills me, man. This is what I live for, stuff like this.
Yeah. Yeah. What else can you say? It's truly a massive, massive undertaking. And the fact that it's, number one, so unique in its nature because every single chapter that's involved in this is going to have their own little bite of the apple to make sure that they can do something locally. But the genius behind it is that, okay, so what other time in your BV journey are you able to purchase 36 patches and somehow have every single one of those patches fit together? And it's not going to be, we're telling you folks, this is not one of those, it kind of fits. No, you could put this together on cardboard like a real puzzle.
You saw the image.
Yeah.
You saw the image.
Yeah. So
beautiful.
These are going to be not to miss, guys, not to miss. It's beautiful, amazing. Real quick puzzle. I have to say, as I'm scrolling through while we're talking here, we had a fun little comment. Mark said, he said, dang, Fran, BP said Hector, and I had to look up. He had to, everybody, Hector.
You know how bad it is when your mother calls you puzzle? That's how bad it is. Yeah.
Oh, well, everybody, it's funny you say that because it's just like Cody. Who knows Cody as Cody? We had that talk when we were down at DSV. He's like, yeah, there's a lot of people don't even know who I am. They see Cody and they're like, what? So he's savvy. He goes, that's not my name. People don't know that.
That's
so
true. Yeah.
It's pretty funny. But
the silky guy.
Yeah. There's so many of those different ones out there. Mine's BP because it's just easy to remember and that you're at least going to get close to my name with that one. But
Yeah.
so cool,
Big
man.
Papi. Is that what it is?
No, that's just my initials.
I know it's Brian Phillips, but I just
know.
had to, do the Puerto Rican thing and call you Big Papi.
I've had a few, yeah. I've had a few variations. Big something else, and I have to.
I mean, we know that.
I have to correct them and go, no. That's definitely not the case.
Yeah.
But oh man, such a cool thing. But man, this is awesome. This is what it's like to just hang out with you, and I'm glad. I'm grateful that just a few more days and I'll get to see your ugly mug again, and
oh yeah,
just hang out and chill and get some more memories.
I'll be watching you.
Get some more memories. Yeah. And you will be my yes. You'll be my guardian over my shoulder, saying, "Relax."
Yeah, I'll be that guy.
RELAX. hey, BP, you're gonna have some sort of a just that.
Oh
and
yeah,
I'm gonna see you from 50 yards across yards across, and you're gonna go, and you're gonna see me, and I'll be like, oh, tensed up. That's how it's gonna be, man. Love it. Well, man, you've taken out an hour of your time tonight, man. I can't thank you enough. This is what I love. These conversations, the raw, real, person to person talking. It's what our brotherhood's about.
That's what we're made, bro. That's what we're about. That's what we're made of.
Yeah. Puzzle, man. We could talk for hours, buddy.
Oh yeah.
We could talk for hours.
We are a drinking club with a charity problem. Remember that.
We need a T-shirt that says that.
Hey, I can make it happen. You know that.
We can, yeah. I'm just not sure if we'll be able to use the actual official name or moniker on it. Well, so we'll have to get creative with that.
Variations, There's always a gray area.
There is. All right. Well, Puzzle's going to work on that. He's going to give us a good T-shirt idea coming up.
There you go.
Something for the future. Well, man, Hector, thank you so much for chilling with me tonight and being an outstanding, very first official co-host of a podcast episode with me, man. Like I said, if you lived closer, you'd be down here in the studio and we'd be doing this every week.
Oh, of course, yeah, of course.
Welcoming in other people. So,
yep.
This has been unforgettable, man. 86 episodes in and trending towards 100. Can't wait. And we're just gonna take it home.
Hell yeah.
All right, bro. Well, thanks so much. I'm going to get to the business of business and let everybody know what events are coming up. And we'll slide home. And I'm going to be seeing you about this time next week, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Everybody say bye to Puzzle. And we will see him on the flip side through videos. And some of you will see him in your dreams, I'm sure.
Sure.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Have a good one, man.
You too. Thanks again.
Later.
All right. That was Puzzle again, boys and girls. We didn't even talk, really. We didn't really even talk about what we had an idea kind of what we wanted to talk about. But that's the conversations that happen. And I really hope we can settle this and get something sorted out down there regarding that bullying situation. If you know of something like that's going on in your life, in your area, check in with it and make sure that absolutely does not happen. It does not continue. You're not going to be able to stop it from happening. But once you hear about it, once you hear about bullying, do everything in your power to make sure it stops. And unfortunately, as he talked about, and as my experience was too, and you don't want to put a negative light on all the administrators out there who are doing the right thing in schools. You don't want to put a negative light on the teachers. I guarantee you that many of the teachers may not even know that something's going on, or if they know about it, they feel helpless to solve it, to stop it, because of the way the administration down there is handling it. So, just if it's happening in your area and you find out about it, Do everything you can. Speak as loudly as you can. Shout it from the friggin' rooftops to make sure that it's known if those kind of things are happening. And then also, just real quick, one last time, guys, these patches, get out there. This is setting the tone for the next series as we go through. These first 2 of the 36, they will set the tone for how many need to be printed up for everything else. So $9, $3.50 shipping. If you want a full puzzle, get both, and then commit yourself to 2 more patches. That's what, $18 a year or $18 a month? $18 a month. You pay more than that on your fancy coffee. And at the end of it, you're going to say, this is what's so cool about it. At the end of this effort, you're going to be able to say, you won't say it, you won't proudly say it, of course, but you'll be able to know in your heart that you have contributed to 36 different organizations helping out awareness initiatives for autism in their areas. 36 different organizations because of one project. And on top of that, you're going to have a badass puzzle that fits together representing the 35 chapters and main BV page. Unlike anything, guys. So get out there, grab those while you can at northtexasvillains.bigcartel.com, Smoky MTN villains.bigcartel.com. That's where you can order those first 2. The additional ones as they come down the pike will be available at each individual chapter's merch store. So pay attention to those and don't miss out. Do not miss out on all that stuff. Faux show. If you are looking for an all-natural beard oil that will not only tame your beard and coarse hairs, but make your beard soft and smell amazing, check out Pulpo Beard Oils. Veteran-owned and made for today's beards, Pulpo beard products combine the best beard ingredients on the market with incredible customer service to ensure your happiness. Whether you need beard wash, beard oil, beard balm, or some fun clothing, Pulpo is the place to go. Feel fresh, feel savage, feel confident with Pulpo Beard Oils. Go to Pulpo Beard Oils, that's Pulpo beardoils.com, and use the code The Heart of a Villain for a discount on your order. Okay, boys and girls, we're going to roll into our calendar of events. If you've not been paying attention lately, you will be shocked at all of the cool things that are out there for us to talk about. Different events and everything. So let's scroll right into it. Next weekend, June 11th and 12th, the weekend of, first of all, is the West Coast Meet. The West Coast Meet in Denver, Colorado. The West Coast Meet in Denver, Colorado, June 11th and 12th. I don't have all the details on that, but if you're going, just hit up those brothers out there in Colorado for information on the West Coast Meet. It's June 11th and 12th. Also, June 12th, as I talked about with Puzzle there, Knox Villains is going on next weekend in Knoxville, Tennessee, hosted by the Smoky Mountain Bearded Villains. Knox Villains, always a great event. Lots of money is going to be raised this weekend, guys, from different things that BV is doing. Again, always humbling to see it and be a part of it. Then later in the month, June 26th, the Bearded Villains Inland Empire chapter is partnering with Barrel and Stave Poorhouse to have an event with proceeds going to Tyler Skaggs Foundation. Tyler Skaggs Foundation. This is just a hangout session, just chill, party, have a good time. No specific criteria or events going on other than the main event, and it's just going to be a hangout. Raise some money. Then going into July 10th, the Philadelphia Bearded Villains have a barbecue and charity cornhole tournament. A barbecue and charity cornhole tournament just found out about this week. RSVP to the Philadelphia Bearded Villains by June 21st, if you want to attend that. By June 21st. It is on July 10th. July 16th through the 18th, Bearded Villains New York Upstate has 1 year and counting. We talked about this a bit. Lions New York is the place. They've got a meet and greet on the 16th, barbecue, charity softball game, pig roast on the 17th, a farewell brunch. It sounds like it's going to be a blast. I unfortunately won't be able to make it July 16th, 18th, but if you are anywhere near close, you got to go hit that up. That's going to be a good time. Celebrate their 1 year with them. Then July 17th, the First Coast Villains down in Jacksonville have their 4-year anniversary beach party. It's at Anastasia State Park. First Coast Villains celebrating their 4-year anniversary with a beach party. Get down there. July 17th. Then we scroll into August. It's a big one, boys and girls. It's the big one. The Miami International Meet that's taking place in place of the World Meet this year. It's in Miami. It's going to be a blast. I'm going to be there. You should be there. Don't miss this one. It's going to be hot. So if you're from somewhere that's not used to the super hot humidity stuff, bring what you need. Bring some of those sweat towels or those things that you can put water in and wring out. Those things they sell like crazy at like Disney World and all those parks. Those little rubberized towel things that supposedly are supposed to keep you cool. I don't know. Get one of those. But get to Miami August 13th to the 15th for the Miami International Meet, hosted by the Miami chapter. August 13th to the 15th. It's going to be a good time. All right. Now we are into September. September is the month. And what's going to happen in September? Well, there's a Villain Cruise 5 happening over in Barcelona, Spain, if you want to be over there. Hosted by the Bearded Villains, Finland and Sweden. I've not heard any information that it's not happening, so I'm still going with it. That's September 2nd through the 6th. September 10th through the 12th is the Four Corners Meet. Four Corners Meet, hosted by our brothers in Phoenix, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. Phoenix, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. If you didn't know, that's where the Four Corners meets. It's in Cortez, Colorado. It is an event for brothers only, nobody else. As I've said before, no spouses, significant others, no anybody else, no stalkers, just brothers hanging out with. Can't bring your parents, none of that stuff. So just brother time. Four Corners Meet September 10th through the 12th. Moving into October, Bearded Villains Missouri Valley chapter. They have an event. I don't have the name of it yet. If they've named it, I don't know. But it's an anniversary party for them. Friday has a meet and greet. There's a silent auction, 50-50 raffle, a beard competition, all sorts of stuff going on. It's at the Tin Roof in St. Louis, BV Missouri Valley chapter, October 8th and 9th. Rolling into October 15th and 16th. October 15th, 16th is a Florida Summit, Pensacola Beach. Florida Summit. I have no details on that yet. Pensacola Beach is the place for the Florida Summit. I don't think you'd want to miss out on that. October 15th and 16th. Then sliding toward the next week on October 23rd here in Northern Indiana, the Northern Indiana Bearded Villains have Ezra Crow's Halloween Havoc. It's the week before Halloween. It's celebrating a 1-year anniversary for Northern Indiana chapter. Come on up. There's a beard competition. There's going to be costume contest. All sorts of fun stuff. Celebrating the 1 year of Bearded Villains Northern Indiana chapter. That's October 23rd. It's in Valparaiso, Indiana. All right. Then we got sliding into November. The weekend of November 13th, the 12th through the 14th. Actually, there's two different events going on. Battle of the Beards. Battle of the Beards 2021 in Southern Indiana, hosted by the Bearded Villains of Southern Indiana. Battle of the Beards is always a great event. That is the weekend of November 12th through the 14th. They just got the whole weekend blocked. The actual contest is on the 13th, the big event, which, if you're going, bring money to buy me drinks for my birthday. Then November 13th, also, Beards Away is happening, hosted by the Bearded Villains chapter in Virginia. The Virginia Bearded Villains. It's the 6th anniversary and beard competition, and that will be at Bunker Brew Pub. Bunker Brew Pub for Beards Away. That's November 13th by the Virginia Bearded Villains. And that's what I've got right now, guys. That is our calendar of events. If I missed something that you had that you wanted to discuss or me have on the list, send me a copy of something and I will make sure I get it on the list for future shows. But that's what I had for today. And that's how that's going to be. Guys, that's going to wrap it up. That's going to wrap up episode 86. What a great episode it's been. Special thanks to Puzzle for coming in and, coming in with some great conversation. Let's get that bullying stuff taken care of down there and anywhere nearby you. Remember, you can still buy shirts, patches, pins, all that good stuff, poker chips, fun stuff at theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. Theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. That's where you also can listen to all previous 85 episodes of this podcast. Guys, remember, I want to challenge you to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. And finally, guys, the most important thing I could say all night, please remember, it's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. So for now, guys, have a great night. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the week ahead. I'll see you down at Knox Villains next week. Have a great night. Take care. Stay safe.
Like it's 86, Shelly told 3 stripes we on. Hey, you know the B.I. It's BV worldwide fantasy. Stateside across ponds, no borders. I am my brothers, keep your facial features covered, stay villain. One brotherhood.